Good morning. Kind of funny. Volunteer corn plant right next to the shop door growing. But anyways, just thought I'd show you the flag again that I had Mad Moose make. Because this video, 9/11, what does that mean to people? And does it even mean anything anymore? And yes, he's still alive. Not doing the greatest, but he's still alive. Oh, let's see, 9/11. Can't show you from here, but over there, I'll zoom in a little. You see the silo on the other side of the barn? That was the haylage silo. It was also the silo room where we shoved an old elevator in there, and we'd pull the tractor and silage wagons up and run off the feed, whether it be haylage while we're filling the haylage silo or corn silage while we're filling the corn silage silo. We'd run it up the elevator, drop it into the gas-powered feed cart that we fed the cows with. So that morning, I was doing that, feeding cows. The motor on the elevator took a shit, and me and electricity, yeah, I plug it in, it don't work. I call the electrician, who since has passed away. He passed away here 2-3 years ago in his mid-80s. But oh, let's see, we always have a radio on in the barn when we had cows. We had run wires down through the ceiling of the barn and put speakers around in different places, so we actually had quite the sound system in the barn. So we were out by that, the radio was on, and you know, obviously, because you all know it was like 8:30 in the morning, whatever, and we were done milking and getting ready, feeding cows, and something come over the radio about a commercial plane hitting the World Trade Center. And we're like, what? So I remember it was my dad was standing there with us, the electrician, and so I ran over to my house, which you all know is right over there, and I turned on the TV just to see if something would be on the news about it. And I got to see not that I wanted to, not that I don't think anybody wanted to, but got to see the second plane hit. So I stepped outside, yelled over to my dad, and Lee was his name, the electrician. And they come over the house, and we just basically said the hell with the cows for a little while that morning. And we sat there and just watching the reruns of it, and then the Pentagon getting hit, and then Flight 93, I think was the number, that went down in that Pennsylvania field. And it was just, you sat there going, what the F is going on? I mean, so it was crazy. But what does it still mean today, I guess, is what I'm saying in this video. Because I'm born and raised all 54 plus years of my life here in New York. I mean, granted, upstate New York, but for all of New York, it was 9/11 was different than for a lot of places in the rest of the country, because New York City was ground zero. And like I told somebody the other day when we were talking about it, that was back when New York was a great state to live in. George Pataki wasn't the smartest, wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed, let's say. Kind of like Trump sometimes, just not the pompous ass that Trump could be, but he was a good governor, Republican. I'm not saying there's never been a good Democrat, don't get me wrong, but you had Rudy Giuliani, Republican mayor of New York City, who cleaned New York City up. It wasn't the shithole that it is now, like all these big progressive libtard cities, New York, LA, Chicago, San Francisco, all those. New York was it was a place where all of New York came together. All of the country came together. And now look at what we've got. Our wonderful government at all levels, just wants division, because that way they can just keep slowly sneaking their shit in, slowly taking a little bit of your freedoms away one at a time, more government control. It's completely insane. It really is. And you'll, probably see this video a few days after 9/11. Just because I didn't want to put one out on that day like a lot of people do. And don't get me wrong, I'm not opposed to anybody who did. And, anybody who's on any form of social media, I'm only on ScrewTube here, and Instagram has seen shit tons of them. But I wanted to see what got put out there and whatnot. But here's what kills me. I've seen some, I can't remember what news organizations and whatnot, but people, reporters out talking to young people, like high schoolers, kids just going into college and in college, ones that weren't born yet, ones that maybe were a year or two old, asking them, what does 9/11 mean to you, and what have you learned about 9/11? And I gotta tell you, it's sickening, the indoctrination of our young people. Some of the answers these kids come up with, it's like, we shouldn't mention the words terrorist and Islam and any of these, we're gonna hurt somebody's feelings. These people tried to destroy our country. These people killed innocent Americans, and then you've got, I watched the Yankees and Mets game, which was on 9/11, and the pregame ceremonies were awesome. And I'm looking at all them, cops, firemen, Port Authority, even the sanitation people and all that, that went through what they went through to help people, the cleanup and all that. And today we want to defund the police and all this bullshit, and the young people go along with this kind of shit because they're just getting it pounded into their head. I don't know. It just makes you want to sit down and cry, basically. So here's a question. In another 10 years on the 30th anniversary, or another 20 years on the 40th anniversary, which I probably won't be around for, but may not be around for the 30th, I'll be around for the 30th. I should be, at least. I sure as hell hope to not die that young, but will it even be remembered with the way these, young people are being indoctrinated? And then we just move on to the next crisis, like the beer 19, the old COVID, What are we doing with that in this country? Oh yeah, we're dividing, The great uniter, King Biden, wants to unite people, wants to protect the ones that have, gotten the dart from those of us who haven't. Wasn't the dart supposed to be what's protecting you? Do you wear your motorcycle helmet, or like me being a snowmobiler, am I wearing my helmet to protect myself or somebody else? Guess you just can't admit when you're wrong, and what you're trying to sell people just ain't really working like what you tried to sell them on. But that's the country we've turned into, not the country 20 years ago that was united from, not to sound corny, but sea to sea, sea to shining sea, we the people. That's what they're trying to take away from us. That's what they're trying to pound into the young people's head, that, there is no we the people. It's we the government. We should all listen to them. Now it's all race and gender, and you can't say something that'll hurt somebody's feelings, including a terrorist, apparently. I know I saw one Instagram post of a fireman named Gary Box. They showed a picture of a tunnel down there in New York City where the traffic was just massively backed up, and the fire trucks were caught in that traffic. And this guy got out and somebody snapped a picture of it, of him running through the tunnels. You know, it was like something out of a movie. Running through the tunnels to get to the towers. Yeah, Gary Box, B-O-X was his name. Never found his remains. You know, his family never had anything to bury as he ran to tragedy, like a lot of first responders, a lot of people that wear a uniform, whether it be cops, firemen, military. Those of you who watched this channel and watched my last live stream with Jimmy, he was in the military. They spent, I think he told it on the live stream, I think he spent, his unit or whatever you want to call it, spent, I think he said 2 weeks down there helping with the cleanup. You know, it's, but what are we doing to the military today? Oh yeah, Trump was building it back up after Obama depleted it. Now we're going to deplete it again. And give away, you know, $85 billion worth of our equipment to the Taliban. Not to mention our technology. Don't forget that. Jimmy brought that point up. So when China goes in there and gets that technology from the Taliban, yeah. I mean, where are we in this country? You know, I'll show it again with my volunteer corn plant here. Does that thing mean anything anymore? Because it sure as the hell does to me, but it's sickening how many young people that it doesn't mean anything to anymore. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And the division that your so-called leaders in government at all levels, folks, at all levels, the division that they're trying to push just for their own agenda. And don't forget, they all get paid well. They all get pretty much, you know, seem to stay there for life, get their nice retirement. The shit that they push on us doesn't affect us. Look at the old look at Biden's Beer 19 mandate that he just, you know, did with his big speech the other day. You know, any businesses with over 100 employees needs to force their employees to get the old, you know, jab in the arm. But the 640,000 employees of the federal post, you know, the USPS, the United States Postal Service, they're exempt. Do you remember a year or so ago when Dr. Fucky, as I like to call him, was telling us all we should wipe off our packages and quarantine them, you know, because it could be on there. The vid could be on there. Huh, but the people that deliver them, they're exempt. Congress is exempt. Their you know, employees, their staff, they're exempt. Why are all these people exempt? But us lowly peasants aren't. Imagine that. I don't know. It's just, this isn't the country we lived in 20 years ago. And the sad part is, while our government tries to control us, take away our freedoms, slowly but surely, these countries that hate us continue to just figure out a way to do more bad shit to us, like 9/11. And I just wish more people would speak up on all these different kind of platforms, even though big tech is in our government's pocket and wants to shut us down from talking about these things, whether it be stuff like that or, you know, the Beer 19, whatever. But, and I get it, people, you know, like I've said before, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, the big channels or there anybody making money off a screw tube doesn't want to, you know, take money out of their pocket. Well, here's my question. If and when, because I think it could be when, it gets to the point that there is no paycheck from a channel, you know, something like screw tube and whatnot, you still going to produce? You're still going to take the time and effort to make your videos when you're not getting paid for it? So I could give a flying rat's ass shit if they want to ban me, but I don't know. I just want my country back. I want that flag to actually mean something. I want these kids to actually know how great the United States is, instead of, you know, I've seen the interviews too where news people are interviewing like 18 to 30-year-olds. And what do you think of this country? Oh, it's a horrible country. It's a horrible country. Well, you know what? Pardon my language, get the fuck out then. Go to China. Go to Russia. Go to North Korea. Go to the Middle East. Yeah, go to the Middle East and try and, you know, be one of your 70 genders or whatever there supposedly is now and all that. But because we're just such a horrible, horrible, systemically racist country, and you know, everybody needs a flag and a day and a month, and you know, individualism anymore. It's not we the people. But so anyways, enough of that rant. I know some of you probably get sick of the rants. If you do, well, don't watch. I don't give a shit. I am who I am, and my channel's going to be what it's going to be. You're going to get farming videos, but you're going to get me trying to make people open their eyes. I'm not like the government. I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything. I've said all along, just like the old arm dart, you be you, I'll be me. So, and we'll go from there. But it doesn't mean we all have to hate each other because of it. So, all right, next week, probably going to be getting out stuff. Going to be getting the green card out and ready. Getting the combine out. Hoping to get Colin here soon. Got to get the old foosball table moved and the ping pong table and all that out of the way. Want to get Colin here so we can do a inspection on the combine. Get that ready. Gonna have to get the bins. I always go in and re-sweep the bins. Obviously we sweep them out, you know, as the sweep arm is going through and as we get the bins empty. But you get some stuff that's stuck on the walls that fall during, you know, a couple, 3 months, whatever, after they're empty before we fill them. So I'll re-sweep those floors, grease all the augers, get the dryer greased, all that good stuff, and get ready for harvest because it's coming. Beans are turning, corn is turning. Another, I don't know, 2-3 weeks. I'm thinking by the 1st of October or close to it, at least the first week of October, we definitely will be rolling on something. Hoping the beans, but we'll see. So, all right, check out the link in the info for the Grumpy Farmer apparel, the hat, shirt, stickers, whatever, and we'll see you in the next one.